A lot of students feel really overwhelmed by the college admissions process because there are just so many moving parts. And it's true, there are many moving parts, but as a college counselor, I like to focus on four areas. And let me tell you what they are. They are college major discovery, college research, college financial literacy, and college essay writing. What is college major discovery? That's the first step because we need to be student centric to begin with, right? Because every student is different. So understanding what the students' needs are academically and what their where they are in the whole college admissions process, like their readiness is a good starting point. One of my favorite books is College Match by Stephen Antonoff. And I'll put the link on the bottom of this video because it has about 80 questions related to how the student is today. Academically, socially, in terms of their study skills, their student engagement, curiosity in the classroom, things like that. I also think it's helpful to have a personality assessment. You may have heard of the Myers-Briggs personality inventory. It's a good, I have a short, quiz to figure out which one of these 16 personalities a student falls into. And that's also a good way to identify strengths and weaknesses that can affect college fit. Student interest surveys, skills surveys, these are all things that help students, particularly if they are totally lost in terms of what they want to do for college. The goal of the first step is to identify about 3 potential college majors. The second focus area is called college research. There are more than 4,000 colleges in the United States, four-year colleges. So where do you even begin? Well, I think we have a fantastic public state system, University of California, here in our state, and to just start exploring there. Amazing number of majors and minors. That's a great way to explore and see what's out there. Colleges have to be evaluated from what academic, the majors that are offered, because they're so different, whether they are in urban areas, suburban areas, college towns. Students also need to come up with their requirements. What are their academic requirements, social requirements, financial fit requirements? When you're starting out with a college search, it's important to have an open mind and an open heart and be open to schools that you may not have heard of. How many schools should you apply to? Well, ultimately, there is no magic number because every student is different. But I think a starting point is to consider UCs, CSUs, a tag school, and 6. By 6, I mean public out-of-state schools as well as private schools, because they, every type of school has its merits, and actually has its merits and cons. There are always pros and cons, and you want to compare apples to apples and research them thoroughly as you build your college list. College research also includes visiting schools, and whether that involves physically visiting and creating an itinerary for, say, going to Southern California or to the Midwest or to the East Coast, or in this pandemic, if it's coming up with a schedule of visiting schools virtually, and keeping notes of what elements that you find attractive or not attractive about each school. This is all part of the process of college research. Number 3, the third focus area is college financial literacy, because every school has a price tag, right? Parents know that, even, and sometimes you're kind of optimistic or cautiously optimistic or or oblivious, in denial, and foolish. But it's so important to stay within your budget. And so where do you even begin? First is to understand the cost of college education. There are hidden costs of college education in addition to the tuition. There's tuition, there's fees, there's room and board, which basically is housing and food. There's transportation. There are all the hidden costs, including costs of laptops, insurance, and so forth. College financial literacy also refers to understanding financial aid, need-based aid, merit aid, federal aid, state aid, institutional aid, scholarships. Also involves understanding different tools to help figuring out how much college will cost, because there's a difference between the sticker price and the net price, right? So you need to know how FAFSA works. What's the FAFSA calculator? What's the net price calculator? What are student loan calculators? You should be very familiar with all of these tools in the college process. And students and parents should be having heart-to-heart college talks on a regular basis, because you want to make sure that you are setting the right expectations for college affordability. The final focus area is college essay writing. So a lot of students find that part to be the most daunting part of the application. But I actually think it's one of the best. It's so fun. I love working with students as they write their essays, because this is where students can show that they are more than a GPA number. They are more than their SAT or the ACT scores, because every student has stories to write about to make them shine, basically, right? And how do I get them to do this? Well, first is the warm-up exercises, because you got to get those creative juices. You have to figure out what you've done. A lot of students think, oh, I've not done anything in high school. It's not true. I guarantee that if you just scratch the surface and take the time to figure out, or sometimes ask the parents, what have I done? You'll find it. So I use exercises from a combination of the College Essay Guide, Khan Academy, and get them started. The UCs have students pick 4 out of 8 prompts, which they call the personal insight questions. Each is 350 words. The Common App, which is used by over 800 schools, for that you have to pick 1 essay out of 7, and that one is going to be 650 words. Students may also be required to complete supplemental essays. Sometimes you might be interested in scholarship essays, so you may be managing quite a few. So putting together a spreadsheet is also helpful, so that you can manage all of the deadlines and the requirements. This is also a really key, important part of the process. So there you have it, 4 focus areas: college major discovery, college research, college financial literacy, and college essay writing. Fortunately, I've put together college knowledge webinars, and I have a series on college research and college financial literacy. I have a workshop for college essay writing, and these are ways in which I help students virtually to as a virtual coach, I'm able to help them on these focus areas. If you're interested in these virtual workshops, virtual webinars, I encourage you to check out my website, planeteducation.com, and look at the webinars that are offered. They're very valuable. It's a master class, and each series is 8 hours long. And I deep dive on all of these topics because I want to provide as much value as possible for my students and their families. My goal as a virtual college coach is to motivate, inspire, and educate students on their college journeys. So I hope to see you there. Hope you can join me, and see you soon.